and he talked about it. He said, I don't want to do an exhibition against Floyd Mayweather. He said, I'm only doing real fights. Now, of course, I can't get up high in weight, but I'll fight him in a real fight at the weight that I'm at. But
Floyd Mayweather has stirred up controversy once again by calling out Terence Crawford, urging him to abandon his fight with Canelo Alvarez and face him instead, in what would be nothing more than an exhibition match. However, Mayweather may not realize that such a fight offers Crawford no added prestige to his already impressive boxing record, and does nothing to further his journey toward International Boxing Hall of Fame glory. At best, it serves as a quick and easy payday for the former undisputed world
one
welterweight
thing I like
champion.
about him, one thing I do like about him, he's selling it. He's selling it, and he's making good money, and he's entertaining. I like it.
Is he, and Floyd,
Bro, keep it a stack. If you in your head size up Floyd, like, was I'm saying if we was never keep it,
never, I'm never that type.
For some reason, the boxing legend believes that a fight between him and Terence Crawford would generate more money than a bout between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. For Mayweather, the main motivation seems to be settling the long-standing debate over who is the better fighter, as Crawford is the only boxer with a record that comes close to his own, fueling discussions about the greatest of all time. While the fight might eventually happen, it may be too soon, considering Crawford is still active and chasing greatness. Moreover, the super middleweight champion has put in significant effort to secure his fight against Canelo, making it highly unlikely that he would be willing to walk away from it.
Always been happy for him, been fan of his, and I've never imagined us fight. I never looked at him like
There have been numerous comparisons between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Terence Crawford, but Crawford has always refused to undermine the undefeated 15-0 champion's rightful legacy. He holds great respect for Mayweather, and when asked about their similarities, he had nothing but praise. Crawford acknowledged Mayweather's greatness, referring to him as the king.
he's not getting to make the adjustments that he's made to certain fighters. You know,
the pound for pound top fighter in boxing right now is Terence Crawford. I just truly believe he doesn't have to be under my company for me to give a guy props. I'm not like that. You know, if he
He
was
went on to highlight that while he and Mayweather share several similarities, there are also key differences. Crawford believes he takes more risks, especially earlier in his career when he was willing to take on greater challenges. However, he feels the comparison depends on which version of Floyd Mayweather is being discussed, whether it's Money Mayweather or Pretty Boy Floyd. He pointed out that Pretty Boy was an aggressive seek-and-destroy fighter, but as Mayweather began suffering hand injuries and moving up in weight to face bigger opponents, his style had to adapt.
I think more chances. You know, right now, but earlier in his career, he was taking a lot of chances as well. So, you know,
As Crawford mentioned, he and Mayweather share many similarities. However, boxing fans and analysts have frequently compared the two to determine who is the better fighter. In one such analysis, a news source predicted Crawford as the likely winner in a head-to-head matchup. That said, when it comes to pure boxing ability, few fighters in history have delivered more masterful displays of the sweet science than Floyd Mayweather
which
Jr.
Floyd Mayweather you talk about? You talk about Money, or do you talk about Pretty Boy? Because Pretty Boy was a seek and destroy.
you're going to go to any company, he's a free agent. I would love to work with him. Free. Because I know that what I can do to take him to that next level. Because with Jimmy Chandler, raw talent, hell of a fighter. There's a lot of hell of a
Mayweather's
fighters.
crisp jab, precision timing, and exceptional counterpunching ability allowed him to systematically dismantle a long list of opponents. He showcased these skills across two distinct phases of his career, adapting his style while maintaining his dominance in the ring.
Reach from the left hook, works again. His lightning hand speed going. Left hook drops him. And then he hit his head off the one mass here on the engine.
As Crawford pointed out, Pretty Boy Floyd was the more aggressive fighter, relentlessly bringing the fight to his opponents, while Money Mayweather later relied on calculation and precision to outbox and outmaneuver his challengers. Regardless of which style one prefers, both eras of his career contributed to the legendary status of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Similarly, boxing fans remain in awe of Crawford's dominant performance against Errol Spence in his last fight.
Defensive work.
Canelo with her.
Chin.
Whether it was the powerful jab he repeatedly snapped through Spence's guard, his precision in punching during exchanges, or the impeccable timing of his counterpunches, Crawford showcased supreme boxing ability. While he has displayed these skills before, we had never seen them executed at such a high level against an opponent of Spence's caliber. When discussing pure boxing ability, few, if any, should be favored over Mayweather. However, Crawford's style is different, effective, dynamic, and even explosive in its own right. If a prime Crawford were to face a prime Mayweather, how would their skills compare? Would Crawford's razor-sharp shots disrupt Mayweather's disciplined mastery of the sweet science? Who would establish the jab first, and who would prove to be the more effective counterpuncher?
Footwork.
There are countless ways this matchup could unfold, making it fair to consider this category a draw. Time and again, we've seen Mayweather lure his opponents into the center of the ring, where he methodically gathered information, analyzed their tendencies, and devised a blueprint to break them down. His exceptional ring IQ, combined with his mantra of hit and not get hit, secured his place in the Hall of Fame as an undefeated 5-division world champion. Meanwhile, Crawford, having become undisputed at both junior welterweight and welterweight, has displayed a high ring IQ of his own throughout his career. Mayweather was known for his lightning-fast hands, particularly in counterpunching, but Crawford's sharp angles and whip-like delivery give him the edge in speed.
Legacy.
Of Mayweather's 50 victories, 27 came by knockout, while Crawford, with 40 wins, has an impressive 31 knockouts, and he's still active. Recalling Crawford's masterful performance against Spence, where he dropped him 3 times en route to a dominant 9th-round TKO, highlights just how devastating his power can be. Spence, a relentless pressure fighter known for breaking down elite opponents like Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yordenis Ugas to become the unified welterweight champion, was anything but an easy challenge. Yet Crawford made it look effortless, with his power playing a crucial role. Meanwhile, Mayweather's defensive genius was on full display throughout his career, expertly rolling into the Philly shell, absorbing shots with his shoulder and arms, and using his free hand to counter with pinpoint precision. An artful blend of defense and counterpunching at its finest.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. You young boxing fans that are watching Floyd Mayweather, you've seen one of the greatest defensive fighter of all time. I mean, that's how strong. You're wearing and he's still wearing. You think you... And again, it's not just hand quick.
Crawford possesses impressive defensive skills, but Mayweather elevated defensive boxing to near perfection. Imagining a fight between a prime Crawford and a prime Mayweather raises the ultimate question. Who would win? After a tense first round of feeling each other out, Crawford would likely be the more active fighter early on, launching and landing shots, even if many are absorbed by Mayweather's shoulder and elbow. By the middle rounds, Mayweather's signature style would take over as he systematically picked his spots, peppering Crawford with jabs and securing rounds with his calculated approach.
The way he rolls with punches. Look at the way he makes them miss. I mean, here we go. Through a series of punches, and nothing really landed. Terrific fight. Well, Mayweather.
Yet, with relentless pressure, Crawford's firepower could break through Mayweather's defense, potentially even hurting the legend at times. As close as this matchup would be, Crawford's aggressive approach and sharp whip-like punches might be enough to sway the judges in his favor. His pressure and volume could earn him the edge on the scorecards, leading to a points victory over Mayweather's calculated and defensive style of boxing.
Well, Crawford cares about his life, and with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo fighting Crawford and Crawford beats Canelo. What do they do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense and less life risking on top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys out our way.
Crawford, a 4-division world champion, has expressed interest in facing Canelo Alvarez, the reigning super middleweight champion. However, the significant weight disparity between them presents a major challenge for the American fighter.
Who trying to take over and start beating the guys around him? Who he's the best of this group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 and meet him. Crazy.
Former heavyweight champion Ron Jr. shared his thoughts on the potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. While he praised Crawford's talent and skills, the legendary boxer leaned toward Canelo as the favorite. He emphasized that Canelo's punching power could be the decisive factor.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. You give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight, or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do you got to prove to Boots? Boots trying to take over.
His analysis highlights Crawford's need to neutralize Canelo's renowned power. If Crawford can effectively impose his technical boxing skills while avoiding Canelo's devastating punches, he could have a chance at pulling off a historic upset. However, while a potential fight between Canelo and Crawford remains a dream scenario for fans, Canelo is currently focused on preparing for his next bout.